We ready? Hey guys, this is Walker with Full Spectrum Laser, and today we're doing our 1 hour build with me, Walker. And today we're gonna do an acrylic project. This material is sponsored by Rowmark. This was designed by me. It is going to be the Octopus Key Holder. Very cool. So we're gonna be running and cutting the job. I know on Wednesdays with Walker, some people wanted to see some jobs going, so today it's Friday. We're gonna have some fun and build some things. So you can find this project on our Laser 101. You're gonna go to free projects and then scroll down to free projects, and it's going to be with the Rowmark stuff. So we're gonna get started soon. We're gonna first start with the raster on the acrylic, and then we're gonna do the cut. The raster is gonna take about 20 minutes, so have fun watching that. And then any question you guys have while it's going and you guys are watching, I'll answer. So let's get going. Let's start the job right now. So the power on this job for the raster is going to be 30 power, 100 speed. We adjusted the black and white threshold so it didn't pick up the red vectors. And yeah, after it runs this raster, it's going to do the cutout. And then we're going to put it together. So we want to talk about acrylics, yeah? So acrylic is safe to cut with the laser. There's going to be no harmful side effects with breathing that in. But not all plastics are safe to cut. You're going to want to avoid vinyls, PVC. That's going to give off a chlorine gas that is very toxic. If you're in long enough, it will, hurt you. And long enough, it could kill you. So don't ever cut that stuff. Again, this acrylic is from Rowmark. This is their flamingo acrylic. It's very cool. What's cool about acrylic is that you can't really burn it. You can cut it slow, and it's always just going to give a nice clear edge. Wood, it's not going to do that. If you cut it too slow, it's going to start to char and start to catch flame. And acrylic doesn't do that. It always comes out really clean on the edge, and that's why people like laser cutters compared to CNC machines for acrylic, because of that nice glass edge. It does have an odor when you do cut acrylic. It's not pleasant smell, but again, it's not toxic for you. And that's why some people use the fume extractor. The fume extractor is going to take all those odors, and it's going to filter it through carbon filters, HEPA filters, and reduce that smell, odor, and all those fumes. So that's ideal for indoor situations where you can't exhaust it out a window. So designing something like this, first you come up with the idea, obviously, and then I use Inkscape. So it's very simple once you get going. It's very similar to Illustrator. It's just a free software that works great with our lasers. You don't have to worry about stroke size or anything like that. You just, save as PDF, drag and drop that into the software, and you're good to go. So this file itself is probably, I believe, 10 by 10. And you have a work area of 20 by 12 in your Muse or your Hobby Series machine. So there's plenty of room to do another one of these if you have enough material. Also, right here, this is from Rowmark for us and for you guys. Every new Muse machine comes with this packet. It's going to come with 4 different pieces of material, 12 by 12, and each material has 2 different projects you can choose from. So we're going to open it up and see what's inside. It's very nice. Well done, Rowmark. So every Hobby Series is going to come with a piece of wood. This is going to be their basic maple ply. This stuff is always nice and flat, really easy to cut. Other woods, sometimes you have to slow it down, up the power. This stuff, not too bad. Cuts really cleanly. And then this is their whiteboard material. A lot of people make signs, something that they can, you know, write on with the dry erase marker to keep it going. And then this is the Flamingo acrylic. That's what we're using right now. This stuff has an edge that catches the light crazy. It's very, very cool. And along with the Octopus, we also have other projects to go with this material exclusively. So that is the Color Hues by Rowmark Acrylic Flamingo. They have lots of great colors. Oh, yeah, the pen holder itself is also made by the with this material. You don't need to use this material, but with the pen holder, it catches a lot of light just the way it's designed and looks really, really cool. Lots of things are cool. And then last but not least is what is it? Luminescence? Yeah, by Rowmark. I always get that mixed up. This is really cool because it's really flexible. We have it's good for stencils. We have multiple designs for this, which is one is stencil, some bookmarks, and then the other are some rulers. Those are really cool because you can bend them around and measure, you know, rounded pieces, something like that. Again, 12 by 12. Put this guy in there, it fits in your Muse perfectly. It's very cool. Fine. And how to use all these different types of materials and all materials, you want to check out our ebook on design and materials. So materials, it's going to give you tips and tricks on how to use different materials and what their properties are and what their capabilities are with the laser. Some things you shouldn't laser, like I said before, are toxic, and you want to know those things. So check out the ebook because knowledge is power, right? And the more you know, the better, because the worst thing you can do is get excited about a project, buy material, use it in the laser, and it just doesn't work out right. It's a waste of money, time. It's very frustrating. So all of the ebook covers all the materials you can use with a laser and should not use with a laser, and it's very helpful. So the raster is about halfway done. It's looking pretty good. Let's get these materials. Where my octopus goes. So let's talk about importing files to the Muse. Ideally, you want to use PDFs. Now, not all design softwares use PDF, but you can always print to PDF. That's a very easy option. All you do is file, print to PDF. It's going to save it as a PDF, and then all your file is going to be perfect for dragging and dropping into the Muse or other laser. Drag and drop feature is awesome. That way you don't need the print driver, because just dragging and dropping is the easiest, best way for workflow. So back to the project and how we're going to assemble this thing. So this is a raster on top of the vector cut. First it's going to raster and then vector cut. There's no reason to vector cut first and then raster. Some things might shift after they get cut, and then rastering on top of it is going to ruin your project. So the software already defaults to rastering first just because of that. But let's say you delete some layers and you've been messing with the raster and vector properties. Just double check that your raster is on top, and it's going to run first. What is a raster? Somebody says. A raster is going to be anything that is pixel based. So, and that's going to go back and forth with the laser and turn it on and off. As you can see, a raster like this is going to be much slower because it's going line by line. And as it goes down the Y, it's going very slow as it goes across the X axis. The X axis is going to be the rail left to right, and the Y is up and down rail. So the raster is extremely slower compared to the vector, but it's going to show you great things like photo engravings, just any sort of fill. If you have a design background, any fill is going to be picked up as a raster. And then vector information, that can be picked up as a raster as well. So you want to throw that black and white threshold down so that it's not being picked up within your raster. You can avoid this by changing your vector lines to a lighter color than the actual raster. It's always going to pick up black easiest, and then so on and so forth down the line. So I always design with red vector lines. That helps. You can also go yellow and it will never pick up on the black and white threshold as it defaults. So vectors are, they're vector graphics. They're going to have a path and a single line where they trace the actual image out. That you can cut, you can also vector mark. A lot of people don't know that you can vector mark. Vector marking is when you do a light vector. So instead of actually cutting through the material, you're just marking the surface. You can create a lot of cool different designs, and a lot of people don't know this by using vector marking. And if you can get away with it with your design, it's way better because it's so much faster. I design a lot of things with vector markings just because it is faster and it doesn't need the fill that a raster has. So that's just one tip to think about when designing. So designing something like the Octopus, you want to think about measurements. And the most important measurement for this is going to be the thickness of your material. Now, the thickness of the material, it determines your notch sizes. That's going to be the thickness of your notches when you're designing. And in your design, in Inkscape specifically, you're going to want to design with 0 stroke, and that's going to pick up the size perfectly. So if you have 3mm material like this Octopus, then you're going to want to design with a fill, no stroke, and then determine the 3mm size. And that way you'll have no issues when it comes to sizing notches. Let's see. Raster's closer. Now for people who are watching, you'll see as soon as this raster is done, it's going to go straight to the vector. That's because I put it in queue right after the raster itself. So there's no setting your raster, waiting for that to be done, and then going to a raster tab, vector tab, excuse me, and then clicking OK to run that finally. So you'll see that as it gets smaller, those strokes of the raster are going to get faster and faster just because it's going less distance. And we'll see very shortly that it will stop the raster and immediately go to the vector. So I use Inkscape specifically. That's just because when I first got here, I was learning how to use the lasers myself on my free time, and it's free software and it works great with the lasers. And with a PDF, with the white space on a PDF, it's not going to be registered by the software itself because white doesn't get registered. It's essentially off to the laser. Only black and other colors that get picked up within that spectrum will be rastered. So white will not be registered at all. Now if it's a PDF with a white fill and a vector mark, vector line stroke, then that is going to be actually cut out. But other than that, no white space will be registered with the software. So as you saw, it stopped rastering, and then we're going to go straight to vector. And you can see that it's a lot faster. It doesn't have to go back and forth each line and then step down incrementally. It's just going to follow that path as fast as you want it to go. So we set it to 22. It probably cut it around 27. But I want it nice, clean cut all the way through. I don't want to have to deal with anything afterwards. And with acrylic again, it's going to have a clean, nice edge even if you go a little too slow. Unlike wood, that's going to char and get black, and that's not ideal for wood. So with acrylic, we can get away with slowing the laser head down. Also with vectors, you can change the vector strokes. So say I wanted to cut the arms of the octopus first, I would just change those stroke colors to a different color, and then in the software select that color to cut first in line. It's very easy. You just take that color and drag it above all the other colors, and that will determine which cuts first. That's good for specific design types. Say you want to cut something first and then cut the other piece second so there's nothing falling through. Many reasons why you would do that. But it's a cool feature that you can easily do just by changing the stroke color. So this project it is very simple to put together, but you will need glue. I will need super glue. And I have super glue on my desk, and I forgot it, but we'll get it. You're going to simply glue these brackets to the back and then fit the arms inside. And it's going to use it as a pivot point so you can hang all your keys on here. You got moms, dads, annoying brothers, everybody's keys. Brooke's keys. Alrighty. It's looking pretty good. Now somebody's gonna ask, what if I did a single pass and it didn't cut through my material? Well, what you're gonna want to do is not move the project at all. What you're going to do is run the job again. Now let's say it cut most of the way through. You don't have to run the same power and speed setting. You can go ahead and do a second pass with 100% power and 100% speed, just to blast through that last little bit that it didn't get through. So if somebody wants to see that, we can do that. It's not necessary, but just to show that the capabilities of, you know, once it's cut, you're not done. If you leave it there and you don't want to ruin the project, you can do so just by running it again. Thank you. Clear off a spot for my project. Makey. Smells good. Smells like we're making. No Dave McKee today? I was looking forward to those questions, Dave. So we want to talk about the white around the PDF again. So say you have a raster image and there's white around it, so it's like a black logo and there's white around it. No matter what, that white's not going to be picked up, so you don't have to worry about it in the software. It's only going to pick up that black, and it's going to show like a PNG would if you saved it with zero background, or a Photoshop file. It's going to have zero background once it's dragged into the software. Cutting good. Let the people watch the vector cuts. I've worked here for quite a while now, and I still find myself just staring at the laser like a fly to the flame. I feel dumb every time, but still fun to look at. It's progress. Instant reassurance. That's why I love the laser. I'm very impatient. Is it safe to stare at the laser? Yes, it is. The glass lid or your acrylic lid is going to break up any of those waves that are harmful. There's no need to. I've had people call and say, should I wear sunglasses? I mean, if you want to, and look cool, but it's not going to do anything for you because it's safe for your eyes. So what I want to show, the vector's done. let's say it didn't cut all the way through and I was worried, I didn't want to waste the material and waste the time that it took. So I'm going to run it again just on a faster pace, just so it got through that last little bit. Let's say you know this, then just do it. If you don't know it, just hold your piece in place as you play with it, and you can see if the pieces have cut through all the way. So I'm going to run through that because a lot of people, they pull it out and it's not cut all the way through, and it's very frustrating. Lining that back up, not the easiest thing to do. So we'll go ahead and do that. We're only going to run the vector. So I'm going to turn the raster off. Actually, I'll just throw it away. And then we'll click the vector properties, and we'll go back to 100 speed and 100 power, and you'll see the difference between the vector previously and the vector now. So I'm going to hit play and OK. So you can see it's a lot faster now. And you can keep doing this with acrylic. It's not terrible like wood. If you were to do this with wood, that edge would become more and more charred, which is not horrible for some projects, but other projects you don't want that charred edge, and to be honest, nobody wants to clean up something. They just want it done. So very cool.
Welcome everyone on Facebook. Sorry about the delay.
Welcome everybody on Facebook. Sorry for the delay. Again, this is 1 hour builds with Walker, the first one. Hopefully next week is with Brooke, but we'll see. So we're cutting right now one of our Rowmark projects. It's going to be the Octopus. Now Rowmark supplies us and any new hobby buyer these materials. This one is Flamingo. It's part of the Color Hues acrylic package by Rowmark. It's gonna come with 4 different materials, and each material has a project like this. The Octopus is one project for the Flamingo, and then the pen holder is another project. So here is what everyone gets with a new hobby laser purchase. Again, we have the 12 by 12 maple. There's 2 projects that go with this. There is the whiteboard. This is the dry erase board. 2 projects that go with this as well. And then you have the Flamingo that we're doing right now, and the lumens. So our project is cut. Are we ready to assemble it? So Dave McGee, the best way for selecting colors when designing, you're always going to want to use RGB. RGB is the best. You're not going to have any issues. Yeah, so always select the RGB. Now, are we good to take out the project and start building? Yeah? Let's take her out. So, my beautiful project. So let's gather all the pieces. We'll show you how easy it is. Just a couple of minutes and you have a beautiful key holder for your Mima or Moma or mom or brother. Keeps going. So we're going to start with super gluing the top bracket. With super glue, you don't want to put a lot on. What's the saying? So top bracket, make sure that's tight and glued in place. Make sure it's flush. And it's designed so well we almost don't need super glue. Whoever designed this is a genius. Alrighty. So now this is glued in. It's very solid in there. It'll dry in just a couple of seconds. Then we're going to want to put this second one just in place. And don't glue it in yet. So we're going to start fitting the arms into the octopus itself. So top bracket first. Let's give it a little twist. I designed this so it's nice tight fit. Nobody wants this thing falling apart after you took time to cut it and raster it and build it. So hold on. Just twist these guys. So yeah, if you're having difficulties, just twist it a little and it'll round out those edges just a little bit, which it will do naturally anyways. Got a camera looking at my keyboard. Did the hot glue fail? We got a hot glue failure going on. So once these bottom ones are in the bottom bracket, we'll just push those in and push the bottom bracket in. I'm a fan of designing things where you don't necessarily need glue. Now this is going to be moved around a lot, so you'll need glue to put it in, but essentially putting it together and piecing it together, you won't need glue. But for it to last, all your grandma's heavy keys with all her, you know, cards and stuff on it for, you know, shopping, gets heavy, all your beautiful pictures on there. So fit it in, and then now it's together. And what I would do from this point is turn it around, and this bottom bracket doesn't have any glue, so we're just going to add a little glue in the back hole of that bracket. It's a little messy, it's okay, it's an octopus. He's seen some things. And the raster's going to hide it. So if you wanted to, the raster's on the front side. If you wanted to, you could flip this around, and that's what's really cool about acrylic, and still see the design. Sometimes that's a lot cleaner way to see your project come out, because you're not going to feel that edge, but you're still going to see the details in the raster. So that is the project. It's nice and tight. Now I just need some keys. Brooke, give me your keys. Alright, let's go. So, you have so much going on, I don't know. There we go. And if you want to, you can move it to the side a little. Get it out of the way of your other keys. Right? It's not so much I can talk about this. It's a key holder in the shape of an octopus. And now we have friends. Huh? Okay, so again, you can get this projects on our website. You're going to want to go to Laser 101. Go down, go to free projects, and then go to free projects, and it's going to be in the Rowmarks of the free projects. Now you don't have to use Rowmark. It could be any 3mm material. But Rowmark has these way cool colors to make the octopus pop, or any other project you have. So, yeah. Go ahead and check out the ebook if you have any more questions on materials and projects anything of that sort, what leathers cut best, what don't, those types of things. So thank you for joining the first 1 hour build off with Walker. We'll see you next time. Oh, just broke one. Whoa, one more thing we're gonna say, I guess. Till then, we'll just.
Halloween costume.
Oh, so I guess we're gonna bring up my Halloween costume this year, because some of it was laser cut. Is it up there?
Yeah, it's up there. So we got your post, we got your shaft.
Oh, okay. So, I was the little boy from Where the Wild Things Are, Max, and he has a scepter. So I built that scepter with the laser cutter. I used a leg from a chair, and then I laser cut the rest of it with a little ornament in the middle. And then I did the pattern for the fabric. You can cut fabric with the laser cutter really easily, and it was awesome just to take a design from the internet, modify it so I can use it for the laser cutter, and then cut the pattern for the glove, because it is kind of complicated. I also did the buttons, the really big buttons, that as well. Oh, and I won this. Best costume. Oh, it was awesome. So don't forget to go to Laser 101, check out these projects, the Rowmark projects, and all this other stuff I design. Because I design it for you guys, and yeah, I want to see people make this stuff. I want to see them modify it and all that. So email us, hit us up on social media, anything of that sort, to send us ideas for weekly projects, because I can't keep coming up with them. I have so much cool ideas, but they're almost, I'm empty. So please send them. So until next time, 1 hour build off with Walker. Keep making.